My name's Ben from Magic Seaweed, and we're going to be talking about the Xcel Powerseam wetsuit range today. Now, the person who might want to buy this suit is someone who first of all has the money to invest. It's quite an expensive suit. What it does give you is really brilliant warmth and flexibility. It's a combination of the two. So there are warmer wetsuits that we do. If you're looking for a warmer suit for really cold water, you might consider the Billabong SG5. It's a 765 suit, so that one's going to keep you a bit warmer. The Rip Curl Flashbomb Plus 6mm hooded is another very warm suit that we do. If you want to go for something a bit more flexible, a bit more performance-y, then we've got the O'Neill 5212, which is a 4.5mm suit. It doesn't have any lining, so that one's going to be lots more flexible. We're going to do videos on these suits as well, so you can check those out, have a look at all the detailed features. The other combination suits, the suits that we think are going to give you a good compromise of warmth and flexibility, are obviously the Xcel Powerseam, which I'll go through in a lot of detail in a moment. You get to see all about the suit, all the features that the suit has, and what they do, what benefits they give you. But the Quicksilver Fuse Flex, that's a good suit again for that kind of combination of warmth and flexibility. And the Seaskins Hot Wired suit, another really good value suit. So that comes in at the bottom end of our winter wetsuit range. So that one's going to give you a lot of good features at a good price. But I'm going to go through all the Powerseam features in detail now, including the thickness of all the panels measured with calipers that are very sensitive, so you'll get to know exactly how thick each panel is. And basically, yeah, all the other features that come through to show you how good the suit is. I'm Ben from Magic Seaweed, and we're going to talk about the Xcel Powerseam wetsuit. It's new for this year, 2012-2013 season. We do 5mm non-hooded and 5mm hooded version. Only difference is the attached hood. It's permanently attached, you can't take that off. Really good for really cold water, where you don't want any water coming in through the top at all. Go for the attached hood. If you want a bit more of a versatile suit and you're not going to be in really cold water like Norway, the northeast of England, places like that, then the non-hooded suit is great. You can combine it with a detachable hood, gloves and boots as well at the same time. So the first thing to note about the Powerseam suit is the Powerseams themselves. So as you can see, there's no stitching at all here. It's just a thin bead of rubber along the outside, and on the inside it's taped like a lot of the other Xcel suits. So you'll find it's a bit more stretchy, there's going to be less water getting in, and it should be a more durable seam as well. So all round, a really good innovation in wetsuit technology, which I'm sure we're going to see more of in the future on different brands. Some other brands are kind of incorporating it into their suits this year as well. We've got the Quicksilver Fuse Flex, there's the Seaskins who also use Powerseam, and O'Neill use the Super Seam as well, so we'll talk about those in their respective videos. Next thing you see is the airprene. This is what Xcel call the neoprene with air chambers in the middle. So there's basically 3 layers. The middle layer of neoprene is kind of perforated with even holes throughout it. So what that'll do is trap a layer of air inside the panel. So just more insulation, keep you warmer, trap the air, the warmth into the suit. You'll notice on the front panel, the back panel, and on the hood of the hooded suit, it's single line neoprene. So this is going to make sure that no water soaks in. It all just sheets off, so you don't get any of that wind chill effect when the water's being evaporated off the suit. What the Powerseam suit also has is quick dry fibre, QDF. That does the similar sort of thing as the single lined neoprene, but it retains this nylon lining on the outside, so it gives you a bit more durability. They put that on the rest of the suit so that you're not wearing through like you might do on a single lined panel, but you still get that effect of the water sheeting off, so you don't get any of the water soaking in, and keeps you like a little bit warmer. Okay, another feature of the Drylock range, including the Powerseam, is the waterproof zip. Here you can see the little popper there. You can stop it zipping back. Xcel use a zip which starts, it's kind of permanently attached to both sides of the zipper. You'll find some suits have the zipper at the other end. I'll just see if I can find an example. I think Billabong use it that way. Yeah, so here's Billabong. Billabong have a zipper here, and that clips on like that. Xcel, it's permanently there. It's a chunky zip, so you can just grab that. It's not going to be, you're not going to be fiddling. So that's straight on once you're in and out of the suit. They're both front zip wetsuits, so it does take a little bit of getting used to. You might find 2 or 3 times in and out of the suit before you get used to it really smoothly getting off and on. But honestly, I wouldn't use a back zip suit in winter now. It just gives you more flexibility, stops the water getting in through the neck. It's more comfortable for me personally. I just think it's a really good feature which you'll find on the majority of winter suits that we stock. You also get this little toggle here which you can tighten it up. There's some slick skin neoprene here. This is one of the only areas of the suit which has stitching, like traditional style blind stitching. So that's just for extra strength in this area, which is going to take a lot of stretch when you're getting the suit off and on. So once that toggle's done up, that kind of slick skin is pressed against the other neoprene and you're not going to get any water coming in through there. Obviously with the hooded suit, you've got the hood as well. Little toggle, same sort of thing along the outside of the face, so that gives you a nice seal just around the little bit that's going to be exposed to the water, so you don't get any water coming in through there, or as little as possible, realistically. Next feature is the wrist seals, which are on the other Drylock range as well, but on the Powerseam, as you can see, it's got single lined slick skin neoprene on the inside. This just creates a really good seal. It works especially well with the something like the Drylock cuff on the gloves. That kind of mates with this really well and gives a really good seal, stops any water coming in up through the arms. When you're not wearing gloves, it's just a nice tight seal as well. Similar sort of thing on the bottom. We have this is Tay-Tex, they call it. It's just like a rubberized strip which gives you a bit more of a grip against your ankle and against the boot seals if you've got wearing boots at the same time. So that's just going to give you a little bit of extra grip there, stop any water getting in up the legs, hopefully. Okay, the whole design of the suit has, if you're familiar with other suits in the range or other manufacturers' wetsuits, you might expect to see more seams, more panels of the wetsuit. By using less panels and less stitching, there's obviously less areas where water could get in, but you're also giving it more flexibility because the neoprene itself is really stretchy on all these suits. You're going to find anything that you put on that neoprene, like zips or stitching or seams, is going to affect that flexibility, so the fewer seams the better. That's why they've gone for a nice big panel along here, obviously the single line panel on the chest, which I explained. On the back you get nice big panels coming all the way down the thighs, so that's all one panel, that whole section there, which means you get more stretch around you kind of when you're doing your turns, when you're paddling, if you're kicking with your legs, if you're kneeboarding or bodyboarding or body surfing, that's going to help out a lot. The other feature, which Xcel called Thermo Bamboo, you'll find it on nearly every decent winter wetsuit. It's a fluffy lining on the inside, so they tend to change the colours and little things about it every year, but essentially it's the same thing. It's basically fluffy polypro lining which traps a layer of air inside it. If water does get into your suit, it will kind of pull the water away from your skin just to keep your skin a bit warmer. It's going to trap the layer of air, which just gives you more insulation, so keep the warmth inside the wetsuit. As you can see on the Powerseam suit, it goes all the way down to the knee there, so that's the back of the knee, that's the knee pad panel. The very bottom, obviously your shins, they reckon it's not worth putting that lining there, it's just going to affect the flexibility more than the benefit you're going to get from it. So the thermocarbon, it's from the chest panel all the way down to the knees on these Powerseam suits. You've also got it on the inside of the hood, on the hooded Powerseam. That's going to give you a little bit more insulation on the head, which is obviously one of the most important areas to keep warm. So that bit covered. The other really interesting thing we've done this year is using some of these calipers, which is very sensitive. You can measure fractions of a millimetre thickness with these. Basically, the rating on the suit that you see normally printed on the arm of the suit, it'll be on our technical information at the top of the site. There'll be a link below which will show you that. That gives you the thickness of the neoprene itself, so that would be the kind of light grey bit in there, so that's the neoprene foam, if you like. The lining isn't included in this rating, so that polypro lining I explained about, not included. So this is a 5/4, so it should have 5mm thickness neoprene panels and 4mm thickness. The 4mm thickness is going to be on the arms for added stretch when you're paddling. You're going to find under the arms, and the arms themselves are going to be the thinnest panels of pretty much every suit you look at, just because of that extra flexibility you need when you're paddling. The thicker panels, the 5mm on this suit in particular, on the chest and the legs, when we measured them, actually came up with the chest as 6.5mm. That's with the polypro lining and everything included. The legs were 5.5, so they obviously keep the thickness quite well, and obviously that lining helps a lot there with the thickness and the insulation. The arms were 4.5, so not far off on the arms. There's obviously not the fluffy lining, it's just got the regular kind of jersey lining on the arms, so that does add a little bit, and they're very sensitive calpers, so you're effectively getting 6.5, 5.5 panels on this suit, as well as the 4.5 in the arms. So definitely going to be a warm wetsuit, especially with the hood. Like I said, it was going to stop if you're in really cold water. Then go for a wetsuit with a hood. You can pull the hood down, it's no problem. I use my own hooded suit in kind of in fact, I've used it now. It's October now, so still fairly warm down here in the southwest, and I've used my hooded suit. Just pull the hood down, it sits around your neck. Not as comfortable as a non-hooded suit, but it's fine. I can surf with it, no problem. And then if it does get chilly, if the wind turns, or if you find yourself getting ice cream headaches, you just pull it back up again, and you're back to being cozy and warm. So that's a few of the features of the Xcel Powerseam suit. One of the most important factors is going to be sizing. Xcel are great. They offer a really big range of sizes, and we try and stock everything that they bring in. So there's sizes in the Xcel range which no one else really does. Have a look at the link below, which is going to have the size chart for all the different wetsuit brands we do, so you can compare the two. You'll notice Xcel has a really good range. It's got a really good size chart that we've used for years. Go by the size chart. Don't always assume that you're in the right size wetsuit even. You need a really snug fit for a winter wetsuit. It needs to be no space in it at all, really. Obviously it needs to be comfortable enough so you can move around, but you don't want any areas where the water can pool, where it can cool you down, which is going to really reduce the effectiveness of the suit. So that's the Xcel Powerseam range. That's all the detailed features, everything you need to know about that. So do check out the link below, which will be the product page. We're in stock. We offer free shipping on wetsuits worldwide. So pick up your Xcel Powerseam suit from us. If there's other suits that you're interested in, if you want to be warmer or more flexible, for instance, there's other videos. Check out the start of this video. There'll be some links below as well, just to the other pages that I've mentioned. Also check out the size chart, another link in the description below. That'll give you access to all the different size charts from all the different brands. Do check that out. Some sites only offer one wetsuit size chart for all the brands they do, but you've got to bear in mind that all the wetsuits come up slightly differently. So I would definitely check out that size chart page, see what one might be best for you, and go ahead and hit the link below to go to the Powerseam page and order it up now.